What's up, Shaggers? Team Schism here. We have got a Genesys Points List review. We've got a few of the boys here, including our resident Genesys gamer, Sam Lorenz, who top 8'd the Genesys EUWCQ. So we're going to be going over the points, talking about its impact on the meta. And yeah, let's jump straight into it. So, yeah, number 1, Ronggoo. Thank fucking God.
This should have been 100 a long time ago.
Yeah. The fact that like they ignored this card for so long just because it never won anything is kind of crazy.
The fact that it took 2 points updates before it hit 100 as well, right?
It kind of irks me a bit when they say like having finally won a championship, it can now peacefully retire, as if like we needed to let it win something. Like, why did we not just 100 point it to begin with?
Yeah, they also kind of like it kind of got hit after it had been relevant as well. Like, this card was only a problem in Tellarknight before they got pointed.
Yeah.
But it's gone now, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
It's in the right direction, at least.
I think this is a universally kind of like
good
thank God
change,
sort of decision, right? Yeah.
And then next is the Radiant stuff. Not Radiant, the Blitzclick stuff.
I know you have quite strong feelings about this deck, Sam.
Yeah, I like this deck a lot, actually. The core Blitzclick cards prior to this were, 39 points?
Yeah.
Which was just, like, egregious for a deck that's this good. And now, I think if you add this up, if you don't play Thunderclap Monk, I think it's 63. Which is more reasonable. Yeah. But you still can definitely play this deck, and I definitely think it's going to be a top deck still. But it's not just got 60 points of non-engine anymore.
Yeah, like the 6 charmies plus broken non-engine can't be done, right?
Yeah. I think very positively, we probably have now seen the end of the Blitzclick plus other engine decks.
Yeah, the Blitz Sacred deck is not playable anymore.
I do think that's maybe a sign of your deck is too underpointed, is if you can merge it with another deck in this format. So I think that's probably for the best.
I am glad they didn't just like slaughter the engine though, because there's a lot of people talking about like we want it so Whisker can only be played at 1 or something, right? Like, I think that's far too extreme. I like a deck like this being playable, even if it's as popular as it has been.
This is it. Just because it's like one of the top decks doesn't mean it's like unhealthy. I think if it's got to play all the non-engine continuous like going on, then it'd be a problem again. But I think what was it said non-engine at like the NAWCQ, EWCQ? Usually like 6 charmies plus
6 charmies,
yeah, like
it'll go into it further down, but DD Crow is the most popular card.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Moving on to the fairy tale stuff, Jack, you played this deck for Euros.
Indeed, the 65th. I think these are good hits for what it's worth. Like, ball feels unreal in this format, where like sometimes decks don't feel like they're going to kill us quickly. So you can just throw up damage and just be completely like ignorant to your opponent's board, right? Machigiru being 5 points is good because as opposed to TCG, you would just play 3 of it, like a couple Genia and then the 3 Regulus, which they've said they're going to monitor, which is nice. But you could just spit out as many level 4 spellcasters as you can. But this one meant you could turn something into Prince of Fairies, search the equip spell, start threatening stuff while you're pushing, which is, again, beneficial. I think it's maybe a little redundant because you can still just send it when you get any 2/4s, but it means that Wicket does become more of a choke point if you choose to lower the number of Machigirus you play, and play something more akin to TCG. And Wiccat being 10 points is, I think about right. Like most lists in Genesis should be playing 2, and you might have the argument to play 1 now because 10 points is a lot. And Snow's obviously like huge for the deck. None of the Necros cards got pointed, unless I'm missing something. So just having another option for this means that your end board just gets infinitely better. It's a little worse without like links, obviously. But it's Snow, right? Like it's still an insane push trying to like either crack something going, and I don't think many things will push through double Snow. Like hitting it once and then going for Machigiru on the second time just goes like really well. The Invoke stuff's probably unplayable with it now, but it wasn't seeing major success anyway, so it's probably relevant.
Yeah, it's like the deck lost the abundance of non-engine it was able to play, but like it gained Snow. So
yeah, this is it. Like you could still probably play if you want to still try and fit Spolly in this deck because it's like that good in this deck. You probably still can.
You probably lean towards that, I reckon. Instead of like was Johannes Bauer like just played an abundance of hand traps. There was like imperms and veilers and everything that he could fit.
It does probably mean that like the really owner Crowley stuff just is objectively like the best way to play this deck going forward. Just raise your ceiling up a bit so you're not just spamming Thors out for nothing.
Yeah. Lorenz, what is your opinion on the King taking a hit, going up by 13 points?
Therian King regulars. Yeah, this was partially me, I guess. I think this is reasonable. I mean, the card is an Omni Negate, and it is searchable off of a rank 4, so it makes sense. This card, when Genesis came out, was free, by the way. That's fun.
I did not realize it was free. I thought it was 20 for like the majority of its life.
No. When the format dropped, this card was 0 points. That was fun.
I think Destruction not being pointed is, sort of the wrong direction to go with this deck, but
yeah, they didn't actually hit Doomsy. They just hit some of the. They hit this one card on the end board, and then further down we'll see they hit Hero Lives, which is the other package that we were playing to not spend points on Medius. Because those cards just got you to Medius and were free. So you played one Medius and paid the points for it, and then kind of skirt the cost of it. I think they could have just pointed Doomsday Destruction realistically to like a high number, like 40 or something silly, and the deck would just die. But I don't know. I think a small hit like this leaves the deck still pretty similar. You maybe just have to find a different replacement for the Hero Live stuff, but the Regulus I don't think is as big a deal.
I think, Jamie, you were looking at playing Teller, right?
Yeah, so I played it for Genesis Euros. I think the point choices all make a lot of sense. I think maybe without the Seventh Tachyons anymore, the deck does lose out on like too much consistency to be good. Because you can't play like the Hero Lives rank 4 engine either. So I think you have to find something to make the deck consistent enough. But I mean, like the top 8 list from the NAWCQ didn't even max out on Signian and Caster anyway, though. So I think maybe you can get away with the decreased consistency. Like Lyran,
I think that was partially that they were playing more copies of Seventh Tachyon because those were free at the time, right?
Yeah. So like, I mean, my list. Yeah, I was on like 4 of the 7th cards instead. But yeah, Lyran is definitely a card that you can play one of. Like it's a situational extender. Balthamus and Omega 7, like 6 points on the end board is like not too bad. And then Bonds going to 3, you're just paying for more consistency. Same with the 7th going up, but you probably won't be able to afford that anymore. Constellar Tellarknights is just like 1 to 2 points that you just have to stick in your deck as well. And Vimana is like the negation on the end board, and it also lets you trigger Eclipse Twins on your opponent's turn. So like I think realistically that card's a bit too good in this deck, so it's good that they pointed it. But yeah, I think like all of these points like don't kill the deck, but it definitely is harder to build it now.
Moving on.
They hit Melfi for some reason.
Yeah, I think this is
Deck's
a
bad.
I wanted
disappointing
to
deck.
ask you about this, Lorenz.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, what is your view on them hitting decks like this that haven't been successful, but they clearly think are good?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think I also kind of think this deck is okay. But I think it specifically has a very bad Blitzclick matchup, which is probably why it's done so bad. But the deck is quite decent.
Yeah, it's also super weak into a lot of the non-engine, like Kaiju Slumber. Literally, like the deck has no way to play around it.
Yeah. So it's not showed good results, but by I think by like the number of people playing it, it was number 2 was it in Europe, they said. So I don't know, it's interesting. I don't think the hits like 0 to 2 makes much of a difference for this deck, so I'm not sure it'll really matter, but it does feel a little weird for them to come out and say, yeah, this deck was really bad, we're going to make it worse. But
Yeah,
by doing it points by play rate, and by play rate it is seeing a lot of play, so it's a weird one.
I guess, like you said, right? Like if this deck has bad blitz matchup,
Yeah.
and Blitzclick's points are what, like, effectively, if you include like the Seventh Tachyon hits, we're talking what, like 50, 60 points increases. Like obviously the deck will look
Yeah.
different post list, but
Yeah,
it will cost, but it will be A, worse, and B, cost more. And so maybe this is Konami dabbling in like preventative hits in Genesis format.
Yeah, a little bit. It might be just to kind of future proof, but
I think it's probably worth mentioning that like I think most of us thought Perulia was better, right? Like, I know Lorenz, you read Perulia over Fira,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And this deck blows into Perulia.
It does.
Like, if Blitzclick can main 6 Charmers and 3 of them are Perulia, it's already a bad matchup. That's great. Anyone else decides to play Perulia because it's, you know, just a meta call, then it becomes even worse, right? Like this deck, one draw to try and do very, very little in the end phase is not worth doing. Like, it just can't get enough out for it.
Yeah, so it's probably a combination of the non-engine people were playing for Blitzclick also hit this deck really hard, and then Blitzclick hit this deck really hard. But it might be the case that if you remove Blitzclick from the top spot, not necessarily from the metagame completely, but just from the top spot, then the non-engine people play might change, and this deck might get a foot in the door.
Yeah. This deck also like does get to play a lot of non-engine, right? I remember.
Yeah.
I think I spoke to Craig about it briefly, and you were telling me about like deck gets spent a lot of points on non-engine.
Yeah, it's all its points basically.
Sure. The Sacred Beast sets were quite nice as well, I think.
Yeah, this is another
I think these
like
are,
a kind of underpointed deck.
But like,
yeah,
I was like a big fan of this deck when I started looking at the format after Euros, and like the engine was only like 22 points if you don't count the Varudras as the honorary Sacred Beast. I feel like there needed to be a bigger shift.
I thought it was like 17, right?
It's 17 or 22 if you play like the second
Oh,
summoner.
Sure.
So like maybe this just means that you don't play the second summoner anymore if that was something that you wanted to do. But
yeah, I don't think so.
The hit to Gustav Max is quite good because that was like something people were doing alongside Varudras in some spots. But Lorenz, you might know why they've lumped Nerva in here with the.
I
Sacred
think I don't really know why they've put
I
that
know
there.
why that's there.
I feel like that's more of a Clown Crew hit than anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you have that card in that deck.
I think you can do lines where can you tribute your 3 martyrs to get a 10 with Nerva?
Maybe.
Yes. It's 3 monsters with different types, so you can't do the 3 martyrs. I don't know exactly what you would be tributing for it in this.
Yeah.
But like, yes, in theory you could summon this as a 10. I'm not sure why you want to though.
Yeah.
Not this deck's issue is spitting out 10s.
Yeah.
The Gustav Max hit is also just because the new monster negate that you can put on top of Gustav Max was a free card as well. So it was another way of like getting to a monster negate that skirted around the 20 points for Varudras if you didn't want to pay for that. So then now this is still a worse option, but it's 10 points and not 20. But I still think it's worth pointing out that it's not just because of Gustav Max Bird for 2k, it's also because it turns into a monster negate.
Do you think that Varudras should have been pointed more?
Not necessarily. I just think like 20 points I think is fine for that card. I just think a deck that can spit it out really easily should probably have more points on it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's the thing.
Because like the engine for this deck after this update is like 35, and then you still have enough points to then say, okay, I'll still play Varudras, and then I've got 45 points of non-engine. That seems pretty good still.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this deck has got off pretty unscathed, honestly. I think this deck will still see a lot of play and still be pretty good.
That's valid. Again, I'm just happy that they didn't kill it, because like Vi said, I think this deck was like, it's nice to see this deck performing in Genesis if it's like a pure version of it, where like it's just not doing anything DCG side, and if it is, it's like Colossus and Fiendsmith combo, right?
Like Colossus Caesar pile.
Yeah.
At least here you actually get to activate Raviel as your end board piece. That guy's cool as hell.
Varudras, Colossus, Caesar. Sick.
Yeah.
So Crystron got hit. I didn't play the Genesis event at Euros, but was this a thing that people were doing here? I know it's
I played against it. This made top 8. I played against it in like one of the last few rounds. And the only reason I won is because he bricked.
Sick.
It was a scary deck, bro.
For what it's worth, they did not brick against me. They were on every brick, bro. That was terrifying. I saw a Citri and I'm like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, the first time I heard about this deck was like the BES one that was played over in America with like the chess cards. Like
the BS version's really fun.
Yeah, I just wasn't aware it existed.
Didn't Crystron just get unpointed as well? Or like just slightly unpointed?
Well, it had like its points moved around.
Yeah.
I also thought the Elf Note cards were hit somewhat more than this.
So they are
Pride,
like
right?
June Pride and the Power Patron. And Regina's like 40.
Yeah,
I think they just pointed June Pride as well.
But I had a feeling that these were pointed somewhat, but I guess this is also
the Power Patron I think is 15, which is the bulk points for that deck.
Sure.
And without that, like, what are the other Elf Note cards doing most of the time?
That's fair enough.
But I think you just play that as a one-of, and then play the rest. They were just playing the rest as free cards. And this deck actually had a really cool bridge. I forgot what the card is called. It's like the mech synchro that can foolish. Jade Dragon mech. It can Foolish a machine tuner, and that can bridge into the Crystron stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, because it's how they bridge in the chess version, right? You search the witness and make a 1 with the witness, and then make that dump Trish plot dragon mech, and then off you go with your Crystron combo.
Yeah.
I think I'm not upset to see this deck get additional points, but
No, it's not that many points realistically, but it will still, I guess, it'll still just eat into whatever non-engine they can play.
All 3 non-engine.
It's like,
I mean, small hits on this deck are like significantly more impactful than small hits on like something like Sacred Feast, right? Because it's already pointed.
Yeah.
So the proportion of your points that get taken up now by these like additional hits is going to be far greater.
yeah, because it's like some of the versions are forking out 33 points for Witness of the Ancients. It's like,
So, like inclusion's already 20, right? Like you play like an inclusion, or 2 inclusion, you're at 40 points, and then like
I think they play 1.
You've got to play 1, right? Otherwise, you're just gonna too deep on points. Yeah.
Well, I think they were already playing 1. At least the guy I played against was.
Yeah. Crazy.
I don't know. I think it's reasonable to just see a combo deck do well and just put a couple of points on a couple of the cards and see how it does in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Clown Crew just got a hit that didn't feel necessary, but fair enough.
No, so before I started playing Genesis, like this deck was like hyped up as being crazy, and then I saw none of it. Played against I think I played against 1, and it looked very underwhelming. If I'm being honest.
I think this deck has the same problems in Genesis as it does in Advanced, in that if it goes first, it seems pretty good, and then if it goes second, it doesn't.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
I do think it has the benefit in Genesis where like you're less likely to get hit by ashes and drolls, though.
Yeah. But your going second pushes are you summon some guys and you tribute over them, and then you're trying to use those guys to like bounce your opponent's board, right? That doesn't really work into like Blitzclick. So, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Pebeska.
yeah,
Oh,
Pebeska is every list I've seen. There's always one somewhere. Like no one.
Not every list. I didn't play it.
No, like,
Like,
I think out of all of us, I'm the only one of us that like actually played that card at Euros.
I played it in advance.
I said, nah, nobody will play it. They're too scared of the minigame. And then it got activated against me 3 times, and I was like, oh, no.
It's a good job your guy can't show my card effects, right? Yeah.
I think I played 1, I drew it once, I activated it, and my opponent showed me 1. And then they activated it, and I didn't have 1 to reveal, and I was like, oh yeah, this sucks. Why did I play 1 of this card?
I have seen a lot of people's deck profiles just say, yeah, this was the worst card in my deck. I don't know why I played it. So it is interesting.
I'm gonna.
They're all right though that if they do put any points on this card, no one will play it anymore, and then the one guy that does choose to play it will always have it resolve.
100%. Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Crow to 2 is sad. I like Crow just being the 1 cost.
I think Crow's pretty reasonable though, because I think if you don't point this card, everyone still plays it, and then like it does impact what decks are viable when every deck's playing 3DD Crow.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think it is reasonable to point it up. It was the most played card in the format, so
yeah.
And then Tachyon, I think, is like probably worth mentioning. This card has been like asked for a point increase for quite a while, and it's finally happened. So this also hits Blitzclick and also hits teller. So that like the point that updates above, you also then have to factor in that your deck's also less consistent with this card getting pointed as well. Not every deck was playing 3 Ascension though, so it is still possible to play 1 Tachyon and 3 Ascension and just search it. And then if you draw 2 of them together, obviously you just put back the card with 7th Tachyon that you don't need. But
I think Constella will probably still have to play a copy of this card with 3 Ascension.
yeah. And then A Hero Lives was being played not in hero decks. So yeah, I wonder who would do that. I think this is I think this is pretty reasonable, to be fair. You can still play Miracle Ejector and do a similar thing, but I think that's also now got a few points on it.
I think Ejector's at 5.
Yeah. So it's cheaper than this now. And that also needs another brick. But I don't know. I think it was fun while it lasted. But I do agree that this is probably worth it.
Yeah.
The Archfiend cards we're seeing play in Red Dragon Archfiend. This was actually really cool, I think, but they see it as a bit too generic. So, and also the Rolad deck played these, I think.
Yes. It was like the Rolad deck was just sort of an RDA deck that played the Rolad cards instead of like pointing on Hot Red and Dispatter, which I think was pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think Royal Archfiend will see play anymore. The Usurpation maybe will, because 3 is not that many points, but I'm not sure. It comes with a brick, so I'm not sure it's worth it anymore. They've got a lot of generic search spells coming down.
I mean,
I think this is a good thing. I think generally speaking, these cards should be in maybe the 10 to 15 range. And if your deck has a lot of points, you can't play them. But if your deck doesn't have a lot of points, you get extra consistency. Because at the values they were at, you were just never considering them, even in the unpointed decks. So I think this is a generally a good change.
How do you feel about OSS?
I'm very happy I'm building Snake Eye next.
We were saying in call.
I got whiplash when I saw it.
Yeah, we were saying in call earlier that like maybe like a pure Snake Eye control deck with Flamberge is like just a really cool boss monster. That'd be pretty nice to see.
Yeah, I don't think the deck will even be that good. I just think I will have fun playing it.
The scary thing with OSS is, I think a lot of people mentioned already, is the elf nerf synergy, right? Like, obviously it's a lot of points, but
yeah,
being able to summon the little red one from your deck is quite nice.
That guy is a level 1 fire.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think searches being lower points is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of points moving around after this from like the new archetypes, the supported archetypes from the past couple of sets. Jack, you mentioned that you did some investigating onto PK at one point.
I did indeed.
Apparently that deck already looked really good.
It looked promising, right? I don't think it looked insane, but like the new cards are like very good quality, especially for that deck. Bricks are upper points weird, but Scythe going down to 10 and the 3 ofs going down is just nice. Generally, saving quite a few points there. And we were talking earlier, like we said, but Jamie mentioned it in Rocker, who's Cool Team Profiles up on the Schism channel at the minute. Said there was a ceiling problem with the deck, and that's kind of the case. You have to. It becomes the rank 3 deck, right? But you can spend more points to fix that now. So.
Yeah, and like Ophion being unpointed, maybe if there's like a time where that card feels better in the format, this deck will get better.
It's worth noting as well that Gabonga, the Goblin Biker cards have gone down a bit. So you could just make like a rank 3 pile out of like the PK and Goblin Biker cards.
It's probably where the best synergy is for the PK stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, then you probably play the Materia Reactors too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like they were being a little bit overly cautious with these new Phantom Knight cards, and
For sure.
the deck didn't really do anything. So I think this is all justified.
It's another deck that's like weak to Crow as well. Yeah, moving on. Blackwing card, less points. I don't really know what this deck does, to be honest.
I feel
Well,
like
that card is the one that
points
foolishes
already,
from deck. It's the synchro that foolishes from deck. So
Oh, sure.
I don't know. Sure, they can have it.
Probably good for Blackwing. Can't speak anymore on that.
Sword Soul gets
Sword
its
Soul.
50th points decrease in a row.
Maybe it's playable now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I did actually spend a little bit of time putting together some sort of lists. And I think this does matter quite a lot, because now like the main deck is like very minimal in points now, right? It's like 6 for emergencies and like 3 per Ecclesia and like 1 per Long Yong. So like that's
30
18
for
points.
Wild Bars.
Well, yeah, and then you've got to pay. Then if you want to play Wild Bars, yeah, you're looking at another 30 points. But you can actually fit it all in now, and I think that matters. Like you can get it all under like 100 points with like a Mirror Jade and an Albion and an Ecclesia and a 3 champions and a Chi Shao, and you still have like points left over. So maybe you can play this deck now.
I think Diagram's interesting. I don't know if it's good, but I think there is maybe a True Draco deck that exists. I quite like that archetype in a world without floodgates.
Yeah, I think that archetype feels like it is just weaker Clown Crew to me, though. So
That might be true, actually.
Yeah. The Clown Crew always sucks good. Is there an argument that like maybe Draco's a little bit better going second?
Maybe.
I think the
Not
cards
sure.
are inherently like stronger into a board, but
Ignicy feels very good going second.
But yeah,
Jack,
like
stop. Tour guide
realistically,
went
like
to 0.
Oh god, I went to 0. Yippee! I will play it in nothing.
I think you can play this card in the PK deck.
Yeah, like
maybe.
you could do stuff with it. I'm already planning them to not put a single point on Unchained when it comes out, and I will play some rank 3 that like bin off like a Rhino Warrior, send a Sharv, and we'll play Raigeki Turbo without Link Monsters. But until then, I don't see myself playing that effect.
Yeah.
Oh.
Another treat for Jack. Fire Kings have been shifted about a bit to a net like decrease in points.
I like these hits a lot because you'd only need to play the one Hyang anyway, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't mind
really,
this.
It's
really interesting seeing them do this on the same list that they have like made OSS a card again.
Real.
Yeah.
Like,
this deck might be real.
Yippee!
It certainly seems worth exploring, right?
I'm excited to play some Fire Kings. It's going to be great.
It's going to be fantastic. Me and Sam Lorenz sat there throwing Kirins at each other for an hour and a half.
We've kind of already mentioned the Goblin Bikers, but it's
more
kind of fits into that rank 3 pile. Doom Samuel went to 0. That's me.
I don't know what that card is.
It was like
it's a
rank 6
zombie support card.
Pumpkin adjacent, and
yeah, they were really scared of Pumpkin, I guess.
I mean, Samuel's pretty good card. Like,
it's all right. It's all right.
What does Thundercrash Scarecrow do, by the way? Sorry, because like
let me tell you, while it's on the board,
Alright.
when a non-thunder monster is special summoned, it cannot attack that turn, and during the end phase, it dies.
Oh.
So all your opponent's monsters are on a clock. And when Snarecrow's in your bin, you can pop a card you control to add it back to hand. The guy's sick.
That's kind of cute.
It's nowhere
alright.
near as good as Thunderclap Monk, but
It's a lot cheaper.
it's free. And
It's now free, and Thunderclap's now 9. They've kind of swapped places.
Lightning Rod
Still not sure
Lords,
we'd play this card.
I don't think is generic enough in this format. Like, maybe it's good enough, but like it's 1 point now, and the Blitz engine's all too expensive, and it's like you have to play some sort of consistency card. Like, I really want to play Extrav. It's not doable, but I think if you need a generic Thunder guy that does a thing, Snarecrow is quite good.
Sure.
Hurley adjusted. I don't think it makes a huge difference.
It's just because that never was being used, right? As a Blitzclick counter.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Yeah.
We're seeing some generic play, so they've just upped that so that you can't just use it generically for free. And then they've lowered an archetype card so that the Pearly players aren't paying anymore.
Yep. The Shaddoll stuff is very interesting.
Yeah.
Shaddoll department.
These are great. Like, the Shaddoll stuff already looks alright, and Window was too expensive anyway. But if Shaddoll's playable as like a slow, like down to the like really like close to the ground strategy, that's pretty good. Especially just flipping cards up and down instead of putting people on like summon limits, right? So.
And I think it makes sense to point Shaddoll Fusion as well, just because that card was seeing play outside of Shaddolls a little bit. Like the deck that won the Euros Genesis Championship was siding Shaddoll Fusion as a starter going second.
Yeah, it was a
being able to send 2 monsters off the mesh right now is just crazy.
Yeah, it being a breaker, and in some cases it searches Raviel as well. Like, I think it's a bit too good. As like a heavy poly adjacent almost, if you squint really, really hard.
Yeah.
I
like the Shaddoll changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Desires.
I love and hate this card.
I love the idea of this card in Genesis because it punishes you immensely for having a really expensive engine. Of like, I can't fit 3 of this card in. Are you going to risk Desires now? Do you know what I mean? It's just not happening, is it? So Desires seems pretty okay in this number.
Yeah, Extrav and Sloth are also at 10, right? So it makes sense for
them
to all be around the same points.
I'd like to maybe see Desires go down even more. I think it being like it already has a deck building cost to it, so I think it's less impactful that card has a point cost.
I mean, it's in essence, it is a consistency card, so it kind of fits the same thing we were saying about the search spells earlier. Of like, I think they could be around the 10-point mark, and I think that means that expensive decks can't afford to play them because they need to put the rest of their points into non-engine. But then the cheaper decks do get to play these cards and get some additional consistency. So I'm all on board with this one. Seems pretty good.
And the last change is Raigeki going to 2. Kind of a whatever change, I think, because Dark Hole's 1 point, right?
Yeah. 1 point. Kaiju Slumber 0 points.
Yes, Kaiju Slumber 0. A lot of people are gravitating towards stuff like Swords of Concealing Light at the minute and Book of Eclipse. But it's nice to see. I just don't really think it matters. And I still think if people are going for the destruction-based breakers, people are still just going to pick Dark Hole.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Like, the cards are all competing against each other, and it feels like whichever one is the cheaper one is just going to see the most play, because they all do the same thing.
Is also more likely to synergize with certain strategies, such as the aforementioned up-and-coming Unchained.
I keep saying, guys, when I get your turbo, you all better be scared of my non.
Yeah, what does your deck end on? 6 right.
A Ragged turbo.
But yeah, that concludes the list. I think the general consensus is it was quite good. I don't think there's many changes on here that we all particularly object to, unless I have forgotten. I personally think Tachyon was hit a little bit too hard. I think that could have caught a stray of like 5 points instead of the 11 it got. But
I don't think so, because Tachyon has a card that searches for it. So unless you also point at Ascension, then I think it's reasonable to put that card at what it is.
fair enough.
I think the only change on this list that I think was maybe a bit too harsh is just I think Thunderclap Monk to 9 is like the most expensive Blitzclick hit, whereas I think realistically the Blitzclick cards themselves should have maybe, like, Whisker could have gone to 8 maybe, and then Thunderclap could have been like 5. I think that would have been more reasonable.
I feel like these numbers should have been swapped around.
Yeah, maybe.
But generally very good, good direction for the format as well. I mean, there's so many decks that like lost points that are now like potential contenders for people to experiment with. I think going into the Magnificent Monsters format, the format looks very good and very interesting, especially with all the stuff we're getting from that set.
Just quickly before we close up, I do want to mention that the team is going to be trying to put out a lot more Genesis-focused content, just given that the format's being supported a lot more now. It's in a very good place. Just to start this influx of Genesis content that we're doing, by the end of this week, we should have an intro to Genesis format right now, up and on the channel, with myself, Vi, Sam, and a few others on the video as well. So
yeah, just aiming to give a 101 crash course into the format, why we think it's worth playing, and what the format looks like and will look like going forward as well. So keep your eyes out for that, and there'll be plenty more Genesis stuff over the next few weeks.